This video is going to cover inventory control management for hire business. So first of all, as per our Google Classroom, here is all the questions for the last 10 years based on inventory management. And breaking it down, you can see that we've got all these questions here that are based on centralized and decentralized inventory management and storage. All these ones here are based on just-in-time, also known as JIT. These ones here are based on stock control diagram and describing. And these last two are based on computerized and ICT. Okay, so it breaks it down very clearly into the different areas you're going to get asked questions on. So first of all, let's have a quick look at centralized inventory management. Now, I'm not going to read everything to you because it will turn this video into like 5 hours long. So I'm just going to give you an overview, and everything you need, don't forget, is in our Google Classroom in the revision sheets. So centralized inventory management is basically when you have one big giant warehouse, and anytime any of your branches or subordinate companies needs anything, it all gets delivered from the one big central warehouse, okay? And of course, with this type of inventory management, there are advantages and there are disadvantages, okay? Now, these have been written as an explain question, but you can obviously use these for a discuss question for positives and negatives, and you can obviously use the advantages for a justify question as well. Opposite to this is decentralized inventory management, and this is where each branch will have its own small warehouse. So it doesn't have to go to the big main one. It's got its own little one where it holds small amounts of stock that it needs. And of course, same as centralized, there are advantages to this and there are disadvantages to this. I know this video is going quite quick. Please feel free to pause as you go along. Just-in-time management is a concept where you only order the raw materials that you need to make the product when you have an order from the customer. So in other words, the customer places an order, and then what you do then is then and only then do you order the raw materials from your suppliers in order to make the product, okay? And of course, for this style of inventory management, there are of course advantages again and disadvantages. Now then, the stock control diagram, just to basically go to a little bit of detail here. You won't be asked to draw or label this, but it's good to understand what it means. So here we have the maximum inventory level, and as time goes on, we're using the stock to make the products, and it gets to this point here where you reorder raw materials from the supplier, and of course it carries on being made until it gets to this point here, which is the minimum inventory level. Now this is when the suppliers delivers the raw materials, and then what happens is it goes right back up to the top again, and the process continues. The lead time is the distance from placing the order to the order arriving from the supplier, and your buffer quantity is just basically the emergency stock that you hold just in case there's extra deliveries that you weren't accounting for. And of course, here is a little bit more detail here for you, and the way they would phrase this question is describe features of an effective inventory control management system, and basically what they're saying is just describe these parts here. Another one you could get would be computerized versus manual. Computerized is basically using computers to check on your stock levels, and manual just basically exactly what it means. You use people, and they physically go and they count what you've got in the warehouse. There are advantages and disadvantages to computerized, and likewise there are advantages and disadvantages to the manual option. Okay, now like I said, all this information in much more detail is available in our Google Classroom, both in the operations revision sheets and of course operations past papers. Thanks very much.